everybody. I'm Jason, one of the content creators for the House of Gamers channel. Um, I'm just one of the lackeys. So, anyway, just to go over, I said I was going to make a review of Imperator Rome, and I've played it for a week, had it for a week, and I've been playing as a tribe, trying to reform Gaul, and don't want to give away any spoilers for anyone that plans on watching it. So I'm put the map away from the area, so we'll avoid some spoilers that way maybe. But I guess get into the review of the game here. The time period is set about. Let's see. It's not BC AD. It's something. It's AUC, which is what is it? It's like set in 450 AUD or AUC, excuse me, which is about 300 BC, I think. That's because like the BC and the AD timeline is based around Christ, so I guess some years this is new to me, news to me. I didn't even know that there was a different timeline like invented or whatnot because of that, but it's set in AUC, 450 AUC, and it goes, the timeline goes to 25 BC, which is like 277 years or whatnot, and so that's where the timeline stops. There's still a lot of play. I mean, I'm in my playthrough. I am, chugging along, and I've went through. Well, mainly my first ruler. I've had the most, most playtime with, and I felt like I played a long time. So I think 277 years is probably a good time. Alright, so what the game features is a character system, which is much like Crusader Kings 2, except it's not as fleshed out. And for this game, so far, I think for me, it works just fine the way it is, as far as those interactions and how much you use them. Mainly they are a source of policy, like the way you'd expect it to be. Whoever you put in on your council, they're going to be giving you what people call mana in different areas. So there's oratory, there's omen power, obviously religion, civic power, and military power, and your council will give you benefits in all those areas depending on how good they are and whatnot, and they pick up traits that can affect their abilities or whatever. So as far as the characters go, I had a problem with that, and I still do, is that if you do not attack someone and take their families in, you will run out of characters, and it seems like a pretty basic thing that should have been implemented. I mean, there should have been a fix to that before it launched. Let's be real. They set up the game to where you need characters to get these oratory powers, civic, omen, all that crap, but they didn't really give you a good character regeneration process. Because basically, if you want to have characters attack other countries and don't execute those families, you have to keep them. Because from what I've read, the families, the only people that procreate in the game are the heads of the families, not their kids, not until they become the heads of the family or head of the family or whatever. So hopefully that improves, because it really really hurts the game in that sense. And one of the main features is characters. Give us some more characters. Give us the ability to have more characters. I know in Crusader Kings 2 they have a thing where you can invite people to your court, and it takes up a certain what is it? I'm not sure which power it takes to invite them to your court, but essentially when you invite someone to your court, it generates a new character. Um, so they could have something like that, as well as expanding the who makes babies. Like it doesn't have to be just the heads of the families. So that needs to be fixed some way. But I mean, overall, the overall function of the families, is fine, and the characters, that interaction is fine. You just need to have more of them. um, so hopefully that'll come in time. It's not game breaking, but I've seen some people say that it has been game breaking for them because they've gotten further along than I am. And even as far along as I am, it hasn't been quite game breaking for me yet, but I can see where it could be. What else? Governments. There are 3 different types of governments in the game. There are republics, there are tribes, and monarchies. Alright, so, and there are different types of each one. And like I said, I've only played with tribes, so I can't really speak to what republics are like or monarchies. So yeah, we won't go into that too much, but those are the different types of governments, and I feel like that's plenty government types for this game. I mean, you're trying to be realistic. Excuse me, trying to be realistic. I think that's pretty realistic for this time period. You have to remember that this takes place a long time ago. And yeah, so I'm fine with the governments. The religions are also, let's see, they're pretty, obviously this is before Christianity, so there's a lot of different religions. Let's see if we can look at the religion map here. Where are you at? That's culture. Trade road, player. There it is. So here's the different. What? That's religion, right? A region. My bad. I'm half blind, guys. Where the hell is the religion at then? Oh, that's right there. Weird. Okay, so seeing you got Druidic all through pretty much all of Europe, and a lot of Spanish mainland here. And then another big religion group is the Hellenic, and then Kemetic, Arabic, Zoroastrian, Hindu. I'll probably do an India playthrough after I'm done with my Druid one. So I mean, there's different religions in here. If you zoom in, you can actually see Judaism in here. Where is it? Somewhere. It's in here somewhere. Trust me. There's. Judea is in there somewhere. But yeah. Anyway, so those are the religions, and one thing I've seen people not argue, but complain about is that assimilating and converting is really easy in this game. And I mean, I've assimilated and converted here and there, and I mean, sure, it's a click of a button and they're assimilated or converted. I really don't have a problem with that. Like in Europa Universalis 4, to convert a culture or a religion took months, but when you look at the big scheme of things, the fact that it's instant, I mean, it really doesn't matter. So, your biggest issues in this game are with general loyalty and clan loyalty. Um, Not really conversion loyalty, and at least I haven't ran into that problem yet. But um, so it's not really to me it's a non-issue. The biggest problem, and I think during um, this time period, for many years after this time period, even the problem was uh, generals, warlords getting power because of troops' loyalty to them. There was a lot of it going on. So I mean, it's even up to present day, in some places. So that's a bigger issue than having to worry about, oh, it's instant to convert pops, it's instant to convert religions and assimilate and whatever. It's stupid. It's a stupid non-issue um, for my gameplay anyway. Whatever. But so what else is there? Um, I guess, yeah, about the mana, uh, quote unquote mana. The mana bars, I guess you'd call them, are up here: military power, civic, oratory, and religious, or omen, whatever. Yeah, religious. Um, I've seen people complaining about this system as if they've never played Europa Universalis, which maybe they haven't, but um, Europa has their own thing that's much the same way. Crusader King 2 has something that's much the same way. Stellaris has something that's much the same way. Strategy games in general have some sort of mana. I mean, it's part of the strategy of the game. Um, so to complain about that to me is like, okay, you don't really want a strategy game, do you? I mean, I haven't played Total War, Warhammer, but I'm going to assume here, and it's quite an assumption on my part, because like I said, I've never played it, but it doesn't seem like the type of game that has quote unquote mana. So maybe you're used to that kind of game. I don't know, but in a strategy game, when you're dealing with not just military strategy, but government strategy, diplomacy, stuff like that, it needs something in the game to represent that system, to represent political power, military power, religious power, something to represent that. Otherwise, there's no depth in a grand strategy game. It's someone calls it arbitrary. It, it's no more arbitrary than having gold. I mean, you need gold to purchase things, right? And you need political power to do things. It's not arbitrary. Anyway, that's my rant on that. So the mana system, if that's what you want to call it, is perfectly fine, and there shouldn't be an issue at all. I don't see how it is, to be honest. How is it an issue? I, I'm baffled, but it is an issue apparently. So the military, there's different units, and that's another thing I haven't touched on is the trade. Unlike Europa, where Europa, certain cities, provinces have specialty goods that they make in that province, and it affects your trade power or your trading ability. And if they're along a trade route, it will affect the trade power. Excuse me. And yeah, it's just so in this game it's different. There are strategic resources, and they're just regular resources, and they all give certain things and certain benefits. Let's see if I can find that. Trade goods mode. And this rainbow of colors is all the different trade goods in the area, and like the strategic resources. If you have iron, one of the things you can make that other people can't make is heavy infantry, and heavy infantry is badass. If you have access to horses, you can make cavalry. Um, if you don't have those resources, surprise, you can't make them. So it gives you a reason to actually fight over land too. Um, it's like I need that, and it's not just military stuff that you need. There's grain and fish, livestock that helps your country feed itself and grows your manpower. And there are other things too, like there's things under technology. Um, what else is there? Let's see. I don't want to click on my nation to show you because, like I said, I don't want to give any spoilers if anybody decides to watch my lame little playthrough. Um, but yeah, there's many different resources that do a lot of different things. So um, it actually makes the resources meaningful. To if you're fighting over it, or if you're like, I really want iron, now I need heavy infantry. So one thing that the units that you can make without a strategic resource, you can make light infantry, you can make archers, and what else was chariots. And I think each region has their own versions of light infantry and archers and chariots. I think there's different. Like every region has different variations of those. I think, being that I've only played as a tribe in Gaul, I can't really speak to it. But yeah, so there's that, and let's see. Um, the combat. The combat is, I think, one of the best things in a Paradox game I've seen is the combat in the system in this game. Stellaris in Europa. Um, I'd say you have. I don't know if you'd have more command in those games than you do Crusader Kings 2. Maybe I guess they're all about the same combat wise. You just you put a stack out there and you watch it fight another stack, and that's really how that's the way you affect it. But with Stellaris, I guess this game is closer to Stellaris in the sense that in Stellaris you make your ship designs, and as you make them, obviously you can make them. They can be missile ships. They can be kinetic weapons. They can be strictly laser weapons. Point defense. So the type of unit you build, the type of ship that you design, affects the effectiveness of your fleet. And so in that sense, the combat here matches Stellaris probably better than any other of their games, because different as you get the resources, the different strategic resources and stuff. Each unit has a plus against another unit and a minus against another unit, and so on and so forth. It could be two pluses against a couple of units. It could be negatives against 3 units. So you need to vary your army makeup, and still on that theme, the strategy side of it, you need you can assign different tactics to each one of those units. Like if it's full of archers, you can set it to be, what was it? Is it skirmishers or something like that? I can't remember, but you need there's like 6 different tactics you can set for each unit that you make. And I'm trying to think of all of them. I know the skirmishers. There's shock, which is like the basic tactic that's assigned to every new unit. You have deception, envelop. What else? I know I'm missing a couple. Jeez. But yeah, so it matters. It matters what tactics you use, what units you use. The combat matters, much like Stellaris' combat. It matters what your fleet makeup is. Um, I've had fights in Stellaris where I was outnumbered 2 to 1, but because of my ship designs and yeah, so I've won those fights in Stellaris, and I've had a couple of fights in here that I was outnumbered, but won because of my tactics and my unit makeup. And I don't even have heavy infantry yet, so um, so war and strategy matters in this game. Um, I really love it. I love the strategy side of the game, which is that's what this is. It's a strategy game. So the combat is great for that. Um, what else? Let's see. I've already touched on the characters. I think we've hit on everything that I wanted to cover. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. It seems like I'm probably missing something. Um, there's a patch released today that a lot of people said was corrupting their save files, but I think the patch notes said specifically Iron Man saves were affected. But I think some people have said they weren't doing an Iron Man run through, and their saves were affected. Luckily, my save was not affected, as far as I can tell. I mean, I launched it and I played a little bit, and it ran just fine. Knock on wood. And wood is a strategic resource, so knock on it if you can, if you have it. Um, what else? Oh, is it worth $40? Well, let's see, how many hours have I put in this game? My Steam says I put like 60 in or so, but some of that is I was just logged in. Because early on, like when the game launched, there was a launching problem. Like sometimes it would just go to a black screen and close out, crash the desktop or whatever. Every once in a while it would do that, and so when I was able to get in the game, I just left the game running. So of those 60 hours, let's see, I've recorded how many episodes do I have? Like 12 or something like that. I don't know. I'm so they're about 20 minutes a piece, we'll say. Dude, I can't do math right now. I've put in a lot of hours, so it's close. It may not be 60, but it's a decent number. And for my $40, I'm still not done. I'm at 537. I have like 200 years left to go, or so. So I think there's definitely $40 worth of gameplay here, and it's fun to play. All the negative reviews, if you let that affect your opinion, if you don't want to try it because of negative reviews, because there are a lot of them. It seems like there's more negative reviews than there are positive, which is whatever. But if you want to go with the majority, that's understandable. But from my personal experience, the game is great. There's plenty to do, and you definitely get your $40 worth. Yeah, I mean that's all that you can say. Did I get how much I put into the game? Did I get enough playing time out of it? And I'd have to say, duh. You definitely do. So for me, that's a big plus, and definitely for the military, the combat there, that alone is worth buying. It's probably the biggest new feature in the game. Even though, like I said, it kind of takes on the Stellaris in that sense, which was a pleasant surprise. And yeah, like I said, I enjoy the hell out of that. I enjoy the hell out of the game, and yeah, hopefully you also give it a shot, because I think it's worth it, definitely. In its current state, it's definitely worth it. So, Mana is not anti-strategy. In no way. It adds depth to the strategy. So, anyway, if you enjoyed my little review, throw me a like, comment If you have an opinion on it, if you have a question about the game that I can answer maybe, let me know. And subscribe and check out my series on this. And you'll see me next time.